Hi, this is Jody from Poppy Winkle, and this week I worked on tickets. Now I know you've seen people do tickets before, it's nothing new, but I did have a couple of new ideas that really take it to the next level. The first is I made the tickets out of drywall tape. I'm not sure what tickets are made out of, but it's very similar to this because it's cardboardish, but rough, kind of rugged. I love it. And this is 2 and 1/16 wide. From here to here is 2 inches plus 1/16 of an inch. I think it comes in different sizes. But it was, if I cut it down the center line here, if I cut it right in half, it was exactly the size of a ticket. Just a little bit more than an inch. And then I cut these 2 inches long. But anyway, of course I didn't want it white, so I tried to think of ways to make it different colors. This was inking, which I didn't really like. It's not even and it's too bright. Well, of course, whatever colors of my ink it is, probably if I had softer colors, it would have looked better. But this rough kind of it did, and it also, when I was inking it, it made me wrinkle it sometimes, and then it really showed the wrinkles. So inking wasn't my favorite. This is Easter egg dye. It just happened to be Easter, and I happen to have some tabs left, and so I just tried it. So I made the dye. I just used they say put a little bit of vinegar in a lot of water. So I just did the vinegar, and then I put it in a cookie sheet, on a cookie sheet. And that dyed it really well. I like that. And then most of the tickets I made, though, this is acrylic paint with a little bit of water added, like kind of watered down acrylic paint. So this and almost all of these tickets were made that way, out of that kind of treatment. And that worked. And then the last one I used was good old coffee dyeing. And that's what these are. These were made from coffee dyeing. So those are some options to get the color. So these are the first tickets I made. I was trying to make them very authentic looking. So luckily I had found some stamps at Goodwill. I didn't even know what they were. They were in a plastic bag, but they were stamps. No, ticket stamps. And so they just make all the difference. And I know not everybody has those or wants to purchase those. So later I'm going to show you how to make some without these, but they really did make it look cool. And this one, I perforated it here. I'll show you how I did that. So it's kind of like you could rip this part off. And I did them on both sides. I think I did most of them on both sides. Inked around the edges and then just put these stamps on. This was the painted background, this yellow. In fact, yeah, all of them are painted except for this one. This was a stamped, inked background. And then I just stamped the stamp on it, and I drew around with a marker. But do you see that perforated edge? Isn't that the best? And here, this was just a half of the drywall. So the drywall is that thick, and I just cut it down the center. All the rest of them, I cut them to fit the stamp, essentially. I just stamped it on and then trimmed around it so the stamp was centered. I like doing this, doing the little tab with the number. And then I always try to make a little mistake or, a little imperfection there to make it look old. And inking. Oh, and some of these colors were a little bright, and so I just took my Tim Holtz vintage photo ink and just sort of very lightly, with hardly any on my little dauber, just kind of dulled it down so it didn't look too bright. Here's another one. And then this one's my favorite. When I cut it out, I stamped it, then I cut it out, and there was a piece from another one I had done of yellow, and so then I put the yellow there. So this is blue, and then on top of the blue is yellow. And so this is higher, and I didn't think the stamp was going to work. I thought the stamp would only show on the yellow part, but it stamped perfectly. So I think that one looks cool. So anyway, those are my stamps using my professional, or tickets using my professional kind of stamps. And then this, the reason I made these this size, which wasn't quite the whole drywall, is because I happen to have a rectangle stamp. And so I wanted to make something using my rectangle stamps. And then I just perforated in between, and then just kind of made a mini collage in each one. And anybody could do this, because even if you don't have any rectangle stamps, you could make a frame with a marker like I showed you that I did. And these are images from a grocery store circular. This was just a piece of paper. There are things in here, another grocery store circular. So you can make do with whatever you have. It doesn't have to be fabulous stuff. I like to include a little number, because it makes it a little ticket-ish. And these number stamps are cool. I like those. So there's that one. And then here's this one. This was coffee dyed. So I think I'm going to do a lot of these. I really like the coffee dyed background. And then I took a thinner piece. Let's show you this one. A thinner piece, and made the same shape. And I'll show you how I did that too. So it kind of made a little base for it. And then the ticket frames it around. So these are all made the same way. The ticket, the little base, and then a little collage on top. And so how I made them. So here's my paper, my drywall paper that's already colored, however you want to color it. And then I perforated the first edge, and then 1, 2. I'm showing you how to make these ones. These actual ticket-looking tickets. So then 1, 2. I did 2 inches, and then this. I thought of this in the middle of the night. This is from my sewing kit. It's a tracing wheel. When you're doing patterns, you transfer the marks with this thing. So this is definitely a sewing supply. And I thought, I wonder. And so, of course, first thing in the morning, I had to run up here and see. And guess what? It works. It works. Look. Ticket. Isn't that the best thing? So happy. So anyway, 2 inches. And then this little board really helps, because you just line you line this up against one line, then you go 2 inches over, and you don't have to really measure that way. You don't have to do markings and stuff. And I'm angling in. I'm not straight up and down. I'm angling in, and then back and forth a few times, and it has never failed me. Like every time I rip it apart, it rips like a champ, which is the most fun thing in the world. So I'm not going to sit here and do this because I would if I don't stop myself. So then after that, after you do, oh, and it does kind of make a mess of your board. See, it's kind of putting the glue down there. So I have a certain board that I use that I don't care about, and this is that board. I would suggest that. But then anyway, then after you do those, then if you want the skinny ones, then you just stick them in a trimmer if you have it, or just go right down the center. And then you have that. And then you get out a, what is that, hole punch. This one's pretty dull. I need to buy a new one. And you just go halfway up. If you hold it the right way, you can see what you're doing. You can see how much is, you can see right where it is. You can center the line. And then, oh, that one did work. And so then you do like that. And then on the edge, you just do a quarter of it instead of a half. Like that. So that's your ticket shape. And then you decorate as you will. And oh, one more thing. I did see some people do it like this. So some people do it like this, how I showed you on the edges. And then some people do it just in the center. So then it kind of looks like that. So however you like. And I hope you try it. It's really fun. And thanks for watching. Bye.